You ever look in your pantry and wonder, if the world stopped tomorrow, what would actually last? What foods could survive the test of time, the heat, the cold, and even total disaster? Well, you'd be surprised. There are foods out there that literally never expire. Not in a week, not in a year. We're talking decades, maybe even forever. Some of these might already be sitting in your kitchen, while others, you'll want to grab them before the shelves are empty. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button and tap the bell icon so you never miss survival tips, food storage hacks, and the best prepping advice right here. Let's get into the 30 foods to stockpile that never expire, and trust me, some of these are absolute game changers. White rice. This is a survival classic. If stored properly in airtight containers and kept in a cool, dry place, white rice can last up to 30 years or more. It's cheap, filling, and works with just about anything. Soups, stews, stir fries. Unlike brown rice, which contains oils that go rancid, white rice stays shelf stable for the long haul. That's why preppers swear by it. White rice is also easy to cook, doesn't need refrigeration, and pairs with every protein or vegetable you can think of. You can boil it, steam it, or even use it as a breakfast porridge. In bulk, it's compact and light, making it one of the smartest food investments you can make. Even kids will eat it without complaints, and that's a win in any emergency. It also provides quick energy from carbohydrates, something your body will desperately need in a crisis. It may seem basic, but it's a backbone in any serious food storage plan. Raw honey, often called liquid gold, and for good reason. This natural sweetener can last for centuries if stored properly. Archaeologists have even found jars of honey in Egyptian tombs that were still perfectly edible. The Amish know this well. They keep honey in glass jars sealed tight, stored in cool, dark pantries. What makes honey nearly immortal is its low moisture content and natural acidity, which prevents bacteria from growing. It's not just a sweet treat, it's medicine, energy food, and even an antiseptic. The Amish use it for everything from baking to soothing sore throats. Dried beans. Dried beans are a cornerstone of Amish food storage, and for good reason. Whether it's kidney, pinto, navy, or black beans, these legumes are nutrient-dense powerhouses, packed with protein, fiber, iron, and essential minerals. When kept in airtight containers, typically sturdy glass jars or metal tins, they can last for 25 years or more without losing their quality. Moisture and pests are their biggest enemies, so Amish families often take extra care to store them in root cellars or dry pantries where the temperature remains stable year-round. But for the Amish, beans aren't just an emergency food or something to tuck away just in case. They are a regular part of the weekly menu. Women soak them overnight, cook them slowly over wood stoves, and turn them into hearty stews, soups, and casseroles that can feed large families with minimal cost. Baked beans, often sweetened with molasses or maple syrup, are a common sight at church potlucks and family gatherings. Some families even pressure can cooked beans in jars to make quick, ready-to-eat meals. When paired with whole grains like rice, cornmeal, or fresh baked bread, beans form a complete protein, essential for those who don't always have access to meat every day. For the Amish, who value frugality and nutrition equally, dried beans represent the perfect balance of economy and sustenance. They're not just a pantry staple, they're a symbol of the Amish way of life, simple, strong, and made to endure. Salt. You might think of salt as just a seasoning, but for the Amish, it's far more than that. It's a preservation powerhouse and a true survival essential. Salt never expires, which makes it one of the most valuable items in any Amish household. It's used to cure meats, like ham and bacon, to preserve fresh vegetables through pickling, and to aid in making long-lasting staples, like sauerkraut, cheese, and fermented relishes. The Amish buy or mine salt in bulk, sometimes acquiring it in 50-pound sacks or even bartering with neighboring communities. It's typically stored in wooden barrels, metal containers, or glass crocks in dry storage areas to prevent clumping from moisture. Salt is not only a tool for extending shelf life, it's a key player in flavor and tradition. It's often mixed with herbs to create seasoning blends that are handed down through generations. In fermentation, salt controls harmful bacteria while encouraging the growth of beneficial microbes, creating healthy, probiotic-rich foods. The Amish have perfected these techniques over centuries, using them not only for preservation, but also for nutrition and taste. In a world without refrigerators, salt becomes a kind of quiet miracle, humble, overlooked, but absolutely vital to life. Apple cider vinegar. This tart liquid is a staple in Amish households, not just for cooking, but for cleaning, preserving, and even healing. Apple cider vinegar doesn't expire because it's already fermented, and its acidic nature makes it hostile to bacteria, meaning it only gets stronger with time. Over the years, it may develop a cloudy sediment known as the mother, which actually enhances its nutritional and medicinal properties. For the Amish, that cloudy swirl is a sign of health and quality, not something to be filtered out. Many Amish families make their own vinegar using orchard apples harvested in the fall. The process is completely natural. Crushed apples are placed in wooden barrels or crocks, where they ferment slowly over weeks or even months. The resulting vinegar is then strained and bottled in thick glass jugs and stored in cool cellars where it can be used year-round. Apple cider vinegar is a must-have for pickling vegetables, preserving eggs, and crafting homemade dressings. But beyond the kitchen, it's a trusted remedy. Some take a spoonful daily for digestion, while others use it to relieve sore throats, soothe skin irritations, or clean wounds. It's even diluted and used as a natural cleaner for windows and countertops. In Amish homes, one jug of apple cider vinegar can do the work of a dozen modern products, making it a true symbol of simplicity, efficiency, and self-reliance. Hardtac. If you've never heard of hardtack, imagine a cracker that could survive the apocalypse. This dense, dry biscuit has roots that go back centuries, used by sailors on long ocean voyages and soldiers during war, and it's still very much part of the Amish food supply today. Made with just three basic ingredients, flour, water, and sometimes salt, hardtack is incredibly simple, but that's exactly why it lasts so long. With no moisture content and no perishable ingredients, hardtack can stay edible for decades if stored properly. The Amish often bake large batches of hardtack at the end of the harvest season, especially when flour is plentiful and time allows for extra food preparation. Once cooled, the hardtack is stored in airtight tins or wrapped in cloth, and tucked away in dry storage areas like cupboards or pantries. Its shelf stability makes it an excellent food for emergencies, road travel, or long winters when fresh baking isn't always possible. While it's not something you'd casually nibble on like a cracker with cheese, hardtack can be softened by soaking it in soup, tea, or even milk. Once softened, it takes on a chewy texture and absorbs flavors well. Some Amish families even add a touch of lard or herbs when baking hardtack to make it slightly more palatable, especially for children. It's a humble food, but in the eyes of the Amish, it represents thrift, resilience, and preparedness, values they hold dear. Whole grains. Unlike processed flour, whole grains like wheat berries can last 30 years or more if kept in oxygen-free containers. Their longevity and nutritional value make them a staple in Amish homes where food security and self-reliance are part of daily life. Rather than relying on store-bought flour, the Amish prefer to grind their flour fresh using hand-powered grain mills, many of which are passed down through generations. This old-fashioned practice preserves the essential oils, nutrients, and flavor of the grain, producing flour that is far superior to anything mass-produced. In most Amish households, barrels of wheat, oats, rye, and sometimes spelt are stored in cool basements, barns, or root cellars. These grains are carefully sealed in food-safe containers or canvas sacks, protected from moisture and pests. When needed, small batches are ground to make everything from hearty homemade bread and dinner rolls to muffins, pancakes, and breakfast porridge. Fresh ground flour is also used to make noodles, pie crusts, and baked desserts for church gatherings or large family meals. Grain grinding is often a family affair, especially in the colder months when outdoor chores slow down. Children learn from an early age how to operate the mill and sift the flour. It's more than just food, it's a connection to tradition, a skill of self-reliance, and a way to honor the work of the land. Molasses thick. Sweet and iron-rich, molasses is a byproduct of sugarcane or sugar beet processing and has been a staple in Amish kitchens for generations. Its deep, bold flavor adds richness to baked goods and warmth to cold weather meals. Best of all, molasses never spoils. It's a vital ingredient in Amish baking, used in everything from shoofly pie and gingerbread cookies to molasses bread, baked beans, and even hot drinks on frigid mornings. It's also packed with essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron, making it especially valuable during the colder months when fresh produce is limited. The Amish often trade or gift molasses in quart jars, preserving it in thick glass containers with tight-fitting lids, always stored away from sunlight to maintain quality. It's not just an ingredient, it's a taste of tradition, a reminder of old world cooking, and a source of strength during the long, harsh winters. Baking soda. Baking soda isn't just for cookies, it's one of the most versatile and underrated items in the Amish household. This humble white powder serves as a powerful cleaning agent, natural deodorizer, and even a toothpaste substitute. What makes it especially valuable is its indefinite shelf life. While it may lose some potency as a leavening agent over many years, its other uses remain just as effective, making it a staple that rarely, if ever, gets wasted. The Amish often purchase baking soda in bulk, sometimes in 5 or 10-pound bags, and store it in airtight tins or glass jars, kept in cool, dry storage spaces. In the kitchen, it's used not only for baking cakes and breads, but also for tenderizing meat, reducing acidity in canned tomatoes, and even extinguishing small grease fires on stovetops. Beyond the kitchen, baking soda becomes an everyday cleaning essential. It's mixed with water or vinegar to scrub sinks, polish silverware, freshen laundry, or eliminate odors from outhouses and root cellars. Some Amish families even use it as a natural shampoo or foot soak. Children are taught these simple, chemical-free solutions from a young age. For the Amish, baking soda isn't just a product. It's part of a way of life that values practicality, thrift, and the wisdom of natural alternatives. Powdered milk. While fresh milk spoils quickly, powdered milk can last up to 20 years if stored in sealed containers, away from heat and moisture. This long shelf life makes it an essential part of the Amish pantry, especially in homes without refrigeration. The Amish use powdered milk as a dependable backup when fresh milk isn't available, particularly in the deep winter months when cows may be producing less or during emergencies when access to regular milking isn't possible. It's rehydrated with water and used in cooking, baking, or even drinking when fresh milk runs low. In addition to being a direct milk substitute, it's often added to bread dough, pancake batter, or homemade puddings to boost nutrition. Some Amish families also use powdered milk to make homemade cheeses, custards, and sauces, ensuring that nothing goes to waste. Keeping powdered milk on hand helps them stay self-reliant year-round, allowing them to feed their families regardless of season or circumstance, true to their values of independence and resourcefulness. Lard. Unlike vegetable oils that can go rancid relatively quickly, properly rendered lard can last for years, sometimes indefinitely, especially when stored in cool, dark places in airtight containers. For the Amish, lard isn't just a cooking fat, it's a valuable multi-purpose staple that reflects their deep-rooted tradition of using every part of the animal. They often render lard themselves after butchering pigs, a seasonal family or community event that is both practical and social in nature. The process involves slowly cooking down pig fat over a wood stove until the liquid fat separates and can be strained. Once it's cooled, the clean, golden lard is poured into ceramic crocks, glass jars, or metal tins, then sealed and stored in pantries, cellars, or springhouses. Unlike processed oils, this traditional fat is shelf-stable and loaded with calories, making it a dense energy source, especially important during the harsh winter months when food production slows and physical labor remains constant. In Amish kitchens, lard is treasured for frying, baking flaky pie crusts, and making old-fashioned buttermilk biscuits. Beyond the kitchen, it's used for making soaps, salves, and even moisturizing balms. It's a perfect example of how the Amish value self-reliance, waste nothing, and preserve knowledge that many have forgotten in the modern age. Dried corn for cornmeal. Corn is more than just a crop to the Amish. It's a survival food, deeply woven into their agricultural traditions and everyday meals. Every part of the corn plant serves a purpose, but the dried kernels are particularly prized for their long shelf life and versatility. When kept dry and protected from pests, dried corn can last indefinitely, making it one of the most dependable staples in the Amish pantry. The drying process itself is a time-honored tradition. After harvest, ears of corn are shucked by hand, then either hung in bunches in barns and smokehouses or laid out on wooden screens to dry in the sun. This natural method preserves the corn's nutrients and flavor without the need for artificial processing. Once fully dried, the kernels are stored in burlap sacks, wooden barrels, or grain bins, ready to be milled into cornmeal or polenta whenever needed. In Amish kitchens, ground corn is used to prepare a variety of dishes: corn mush for breakfast, cornbread with soups, dumplings for stews, or even grit-style side dishes. It's filling, inexpensive, and incredibly nourishing. During the winter, corn-based dishes are especially common because they're easy to make in large quantities and can stretch to feed large families. For the Amish, corn isn't just food, it's heritage, security, and sustenance all in one. Sugar. Just like salt, sugar doesn't spoil. As long as it's kept dry, cool, and in airtight containers, it can literally last forever, making it one of the most reliable long-term food storage items in the Amish pantry. The Amish typically store white sugar, brown sugar, and even maple sugar in large glass jars, tin canisters, or sealed buckets, often tucked away in dry pantries or root cellars. Sugar isn't just used for sweetening drinks or desserts. It plays a much bigger role in Amish kitchens. Pemmican, a Native American creation adopted by the Amish. Pemmican is made from dried meat, fat, and sometimes berries. It's highly compact, extremely nutritious, and can last decades. Pemmican is often made in the fall and stored for emergencies or long journeys. It's the original energy bar. Hard cheese, waxed or aged. Certain cheeses, like cheddar or Parmesan, can last years if aged properly and coated in wax. The Amish are known for making and aging their own cheese, sometimes storing it in caves or underground cellars. The wax protects the cheese from air and mold, making it stable for long-term storage. When refrigeration isn't available, cheese like this is a real luxury. Dried fruit. Fruits like apples, pears, peaches, and cherries are sliced thin and carefully dried using solar power during the warmer months or wood-fired ovens when the weather turns cool. This isn't just a task, it's a seasonal ritual. Amish families often gather together after harvest to prepare trays of sliced fruit, laying them out on wooden screens or threading them on long twine strings that hang across porches, kitchens, or barns. Once dried to perfection, these fruits are stored in large glass jars or tightly sewn cloth bags and tucked away in cool cellars. And they don't just sit there for emergencies. The Amish rehydrate these fruits throughout the year to make rich, flavorful pies, fruit butters, preserves, and old-fashioned jams. Dried apples are a favorite in stews and sweetbreads, while peaches and cherries often find their way into cobblers and cakes. Without moisture, the fruit becomes nearly immortal, preserving not just nutrients and natural sugars, but the taste of summer, locked away to be enjoyed on cold winter nights around a warm, wood-fired stove. Herbs and spices. Finally, we can't forget herbs and spices. While they may lose flavor over time, most dried herbs will last for years if stored away from light and air. The Amish grow their own herbs, like mint, basil, thyme, and oregano, and dry them in bundles hanging from kitchen rafters. These herbs are used in medicine, cooking, and tea making. In a world where taste matters, even in hard times, spices are an essential comfort. So there you have it. These aren't just survival foods. They're a blueprint for a life lived with intention, wisdom, and preparation. In a world where everything is fast, disposable, and perishable, the Amish remind us that slow and steady can still win the race. If you found this fascinating, imagine what else the Amish can teach us about self-sufficiency and living off the land. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more Amish secrets, and share this video with someone who loves simple, sustainable living.